Thanks for joining us on today's video fishing report. We're here live in Ludington, Michigan at Captain Chuck's. He's got a whole wall full of salmon stuff, and you know why? Because it's that time of year. We're getting ready for open water fishing. We got awesome walleye reports today. We're going to concentrate on the Great Lakes. We've got reports out of Monroe, Lake St. Clair for panfish, Port Clinton, Ohio for walleye trolling, Detroit River for jigging, and then we're going to end up the day up on Tawas, out in front of Tawas Bay, and then also a kick up north from Tawas into the mouth and the lower part of the Au Sable with Captain Gene Curvin. 5 really good reports. Awesome Great Lakes fishing happening right now. Stay tuned for the video fishing report this week on the Fisherman's Digest. Hey, so we're going to start out today in Monroe, out of Bowles Harbor, Sterling State Park. Guys, the fishing there right now is as good as I have ever seen it in my life. We've got beautiful open water fishing going on, tons of reports coming in. The fishing's easy, so if you've still got that boat in the barn, get it out because here's the report, detailed. We've got fish, multiple different schools, but the easiest one right now seems to be that 10 to 20 foot, 10 to 15 foot even, but by the time you see this report, it might be out to 20. 10 to 15 foot of water, trolling near shore, running the bandits out short, meaning 15 feet out to 40 feet. That's basically it. And really playing the bright day, bright bait, dark day, dark bait scenario, meaning a lot of chromes, basically chrome and anything with green on it, chrome and anything with purple on it, chrome and orange. All of that type of stuff was working. Chrome-based baits. Last week, as you recall, was pretty sunny out. Speed 1.3 to 1.7. A big variance there. We've got guys catching fish at all those different speeds. So it seems to me that speed isn't as much a factor as long as you got stable weather. You know, so if you get a dark, cloudy day with a little bit of wind, maybe you would have to slow down. But remember to match the day to the types of baits. If you've got a dark day, do more golds or do more neon fluorescence, more contrast, like a white body bait with dark purple or black, a black Wonder Bread. There's a lot of great bait painters out there. HLS Customs, Domka Outdoors has got some great baits. That's the whole group of baits that our captain, Captain Nick Dode from Real Live Action Sport Fishing, who gave us this report. You see that big cluster of baits. Hopefully Chase pauses that so you can get a good look at it. He used about 8 or 9 different Domka Outdoors colors in this report, and he smashed them. 32 fish, up to 11 pounders. I mean, crazy big fish, easy to catch right now, Monroe, Michigan.
Wyandotte Lure manufactures soft plastic baits and fishing tackle right here in the Detroit area. Our famous original Wyandotte worm and the new Motor City minnow are made with our own special blend of material that is soft enough for a fish to bite, but durable enough to use all day. Our baits are available in over 30 different fish catching colors. Just another reason why Wyandotte Lure is known as the king of the river. Go to WyandottLure.com or ask for them at your local bait and tackle store.
Hey, so our next report is from some friends that we got associated with this week on the this year on the ice fishing trail a little bit. These are just weekend warriors. Nick Garantakis, joined this week by his buddy Anthony, really good fishermen there in the St. Clair region. And these guys are foregoing the walleye right now, and they've taken the time to give us a great crappie, bluegill, perch report, open water from a boat. So these guys are concentrating on cuts, canals, but they went out of Selfridge, out in 8 to 10 feet of water, fishing on structure. That's right, with our favorite bait, our little perch pounders, and they were using brightly colored ones. Now that fish skin technology of that perch pounder allows those fish, once that pounder gets wet and soaks a little bit, it becomes very, very appealing to the fish. And so you've got the ability to change up color, greens, oranges, reds, pinks, all the different colors that a guy wants. And Nick and Anthony were fishing dirty water, and as you can see by the pictures going through, these guys got into some very nice fish. True mixed bag. I mean, some of them were crappie, some of them were bluegill, most of them were perch, and really good eating right there going on. So again, they went out of Selfridge, they fished 8 to 10 foot of water, they were fishing around structure, and so that was what was holding the fish. But Nick tells me that marinas, cuts, canals, they're all going to be loaded up with perch for the next few weeks. Get out there if you're not into the walleye fishing on Detroit or on one of the Great Lakes. This panfish and perch bite can be awesome. So remember, perch pounders and minnows in cuts, canals, marinas, and out on the on Lake St. Clair itself. Hey, have a great time here in Michigan. Are you in the market for a new trailer? For all your trailer needs, big or small, visit Beck's Trailer SUPERstore on Highway 127 north of St. John's. Hey, so our next report is probably one of my favorite places to fish of all time, and that's Port Clinton, Ohio. Now, why do I love Port Clinton? Frankly put, because it's like Monroe right now. It's just easy fishing. They're catching fish all over, from basically the Michigan line through the whole firing range, all the reef structures. Some guys are jigging them, some guys are trolling them. Basically, there's so many fish packed in there right now that it really doesn't matter too much what you do. You'd have to really get into some super dirty water to not be able to put together a pattern and catch a bunch of fish. So my guys are telling me that the best pattern that they encountered was north of the firing range cans, fishing in that 25 to 28 foot of water right outside the reef structures, and they were trolling slow, 1.3 to 1.5, running bandits back, 60 to 120. That's what my guys were telling me. I'm kind of generalizing that, not to be vague on purpose, but I got so many reports in of some guys catching them at 40 and 50 and 60, other guys catching them at 70, 80 and 90, other guys at 100 to 120. I think you get the idea. I don't know that there's a wrong depth right now. We got a lot of fish in the Lake Erie system, and when you have that many fish, they tend to spread out and you get a lot of different zones that seem to be biting. Also, these fish are all pre-spawn. So they're coming off of a pretty mild winter. They're still feeding regularly because they're going to go into that spawn mode once that water temperature gets mid 40s, 43 to 46 is kind of that spawn range. So it's nowhere close to that right now. We're still in the mid to upper 30s. So those fish are still in normal feeding mode. They're really easy to catch. So again, 1.3 to 1.7, a lot of different colors are working, no real specific area. The other area that they did mention was pretty hot, and that was right out of the Bass Islands, that Green Island to the east, and not east, the west, towards the firing range, and then just generally north. If you head up the island structure like you're going to troll towards Canada, that whole area there from Rattlesnake to the north and a little bit to the west had a lot of fish in it. I suspect that's because that's holding for fish that are going to go up on Northwest Reef that sits just on the west side of North Bass Island. That's a very good spawning reef, as is the rocks around Rattlesnake. So I think there's a lot of fish in that area right now simply because they're staging, getting ready to spawn, and they're going to use that structure to spawn on. So a lot of fish in the Port Clinton area. Captain Kelly from Irregardless Sport Fishing, he's got himself a small boat. Used to be he waited till April and put the big boat in and took people from then on. He said, you know what, the fishing's too good in March, so give Captain Kelly Schmidt from Irregardless Sport Fishing a call. He's got a 20-foot boat. He can take parties of 2 or 3. The price is accordingly of value, so you'll have a great time. You'll get to be able to go out and fish in a smaller boat with a smaller party and have a great time. But either way, put Port Clinton, Ohio on your gotta go do it this spring list, because it happens, and it happens from now all the way through the 4th of July.
Qwest Pontoons, family owned and operated, built by fishermen for fishermen, with all of the fishing features you need and models designed for specific species. With plenty of room and a center console, Qwest Pontoons are the ideal boat for the fisherman and the family man. For more information, check us out at www.anglerquestpontoons.com or on Facebook and Instagram at Qwest Pontoons.
So hey guys, we got a great Detroit River report now. Captain Eric is down in the Keys right now, so he wasn't able to give us a report. So Ian Jones from Fishing Lake St. Clair Charters Fishing LSC, so it's Lake St. Clair, LSC Charters, gave us a great Detroit River report. Thanks so much, Ian, for that. And listen, he's on them already, right away, big fish. If you go to our website, fishermansdigest.com, click on fishing reports, go down to Detroit River, you will see that Ian smacked nice ones, as you can also see by the pictures. 6, 7, even 8 pounders. And he was catching them pretty decently. I mean, a decent number of fish as well. It seems like just the last couple days, with the sunny, warmer weather, the sun penetration, it's got fish starting to dump into the river and starting to fill up some of those better holes. Ian was jigging plastics and a stinger, slow jigging, tight to the bottom, 25 to 28 foot was his sweet spot. Now, I say that, experienced Detroit River fishermen understand the fish can move around and be in a lot of different places. So when I tell you Ian was in 25 to 28, that's a that day thing. What I'm really telling you is there's starting to be some areas, some real critical areas of the Detroit River that are starting to load up with some very nice fish. And I think you could probably, if you go out and the trolling is insane and you don't want to deal with the crowds, this is pre-crowds on the Detroit River right now. It's not crazy yet, so you can still get into the best drifts and the best areas and probably pick off some extremely nice fish. And to be honest, jigging's awful fun. Sometimes trolling just gets a little bit to be the same old thing, so if you can get out there. Now, when you're using Detroit River plastics, remember the Wyandotte worm, the Wyandotte, the new 3 1/4 inch Motor City minnow. They come in the green packets. They're the original bait there for the Detroit River. They've been working great. That new minnow is an awesome thing. And remember, run a free-flying stinger behind that and increase your catch. Sorry guys, I'm stumbling on myself tremendously. So again, tight, slow motion. This is 38, 39 degree water, guys, so it's not like super aggressive yet. So you're going to have to remember that. When you're jigging, don't be sitting there whipping the rod like this. You're not going to catch as many fish. Make that jigging motion a 3-4 inch drop lift, drop lift. It's not real aggressive right now. Those fish will come up, they'll hit it, they'll smack it good. Ian said they were smacking it pretty decently. You knew they were there, and then you can just lift on them. And with that stinger, it's almost a guarantee that you're going to get something into them. So again, if you're looking to get out, Ian's going to be on the Detroit River like everybody else and their dog, but give him a call, and he's also a Lake St. Clair specialist. So, Detroit River, right now, it's getting to be go time. It's getting to be go time. Get ready. Get all your baits, get your boats, and get ready to go.
Win $60,000 in prizes, including a new StarCraft boat and motor or a new Qwest Pontoon and motor, and a whole lot more during the big giveaway going on now at the on-site indoor boat show at Lakeside Motor Sports and Nelson's Speed Shop. Get special early season pricing and boat and motor packages on over 700 boats in stock. Win prizes every weekend now through April 18th. Meet industry experts plus guest seminars. This is big. The big giveaway and on-site indoor boat show going on now at Lakeside Motor Sports and Nelson's Speed Shop.
Our last report of the day comes to us out of the Tawas and all the way up to the Au Sable River area. Now, a lot of people miss this Tawas area when it comes to fishing, and you really shouldn't. I have learned this year firsthand from multiple different trips to this region that this is a very, very fun piece of water. And when we talk about Tawas, water in front of Tawas, we're talking about a stretch from just where it takes the turn north of Saginaw Bay. So you're out of Au Gres, you go and you make that turn and you go up and make that turn to the north. You can physically see Tawas from there. And that piece of water all the way up to the north to the mouth of the Au Sable River is an awesome fishing edge. It's got walleye, it's got Lakers. As the summer progresses, it'll have silverfish in it as well, like steelhead. It's a very common run. Atlantics will make their way all the way down there later in the year. But for right now, let's talk about just a couple of the bites that are going on. So it's Tawas Bay right now. Now that's either early season perching with the perch pounder and minnows, or it's going to be jigging. Now that jigging can be in the bay there. There's a lot of Lakers that come flooding in there, and they'll feed on the perch and they'll feed on the other shallow water gobies and things like that right there in Tawas Bay. And a lot of the guys do really, really well. Two different ways, either cast in the hard baits like a rip and wrap, you know, like a vibrating casting bait, similar to what they do down on Saginaw Bay, and you'll encounter Lakers really aggressive at this time of year. You can also pick up some really, really nice walleye doing this. The walleye will come in tight, of course. They're looking to spawn up on the rocky or hard bottoms that are from Tawas south to the point there. And that's really what brings them in. And that Tawas run can be really good. Now, the second the water heats up, we'll be coming back to you and talking about trolling there in that Tawas edge, I call it, out in front of the city of Tawas. That's some really, really good walleye and lake trout combo mixed bag fishing. But I'm going to be going out with Nick Miato, the guy who bought my boat from last year. He's real familiar with this stretch, and he's going to teach us some stuff this year about that stretch of water that, I'm telling you what, if you're sick of crowds, there's some empty pieces of water out there on Lake Huron that are just inviting boats to come in, and we're going to try to teach you how. But right now it's a mixed bag of Lakers and walleye out of Tawas Bay. Now, if we head up to Captain Gene Curvin, he's doing the lower Au Sable right now. And as you see some pictures go across the screen from the lower Au Sable, some really nice steelhead, Gene tells me that he's hot-shotting big fish. I mean, a lot of 10-pound fish are coming right now. And for those of you who are wondering what hot-shotting is, that's sweeping crankbaits across deep holes. And I'm telling you what, the strikes are violent. The fish go nuts. They leave the water multiple times. When you get a bite on a crankbait hot-shotting, it is a crazy catch and it is a crazy fight. So give Captain Gene Curvin Calypso Sport Fishing Charters. He'll spend the next 6 weeks in that lower Au Sable cashing in on the great steelhead fishing, and then he'll slowly morph into that unsung fishery as well in that same piece of water for really good walleye fishing. So stay tuned to those walleye reports in the river as well. But right now, Tawas and also the Au Sable River going good for fishing, open water or river fishing. Hey, so like I mentioned before we close, we're here at Captain Chuck's in Ludington, and the greater Ludington area is going to get spotlighted here in a week or so. We're just waiting for kind of all the ice to clean out of the Hamlin Lake and the Pierre Marquette Lake, and we're going to talk about early season bluegills and crappie from Hamlin, and then we've got reports that the near shore bite, we're talking 8 to 20 feet of water is going right now out of Ludington and just starting to fire. So we'll be back next week to talk about that. But Captain Chuck's is stocked to the gills. He's making the conversion from ice fishing to open water fishing. He's loaded up. I'm standing in front of a monster rack of Dreamweaver Spin Doctors. He's putting spoons up today and tomorrow. He'll be all ready for the rush of people. And I'm telling you what, same thing as always. Get your tackle, get your base supply of tackle bought early, because people are going to start running out of stuff and it's going to become an issue in June and July. You keep hearing me say that. I say it because it's a fact. That's what's going to happen. So the guys who are prepared, the guys who throw an extra $100 or $200 on the table in March or April and make sure they got everything that they know they're going to be using, are going to thank themselves come July and August, all right? So get on up here, get on out here in the great state of Michigan. There's some awesome fishing going on, but for the next few weeks, we're going to concentrate on those Great Lakes fisheries and all the great walleye fishing, but we're going to throw some early season salmon in on you as well. So we'll see you next week here on the Fisherman's Digest Hot Bites Report.